Admiral Zexhai clicked his mandibles in amusement as the holographic display showed the pathetic little blue world spinning lazily in the void. Earth. Home to the species that called themselves humans, a word that translated roughly to soft. Dirt walkers in the hegemony's common tongue. Counselor Vorth, Zexhai addressed the crystalline being beside him. Remind me why we're wasting time with this backwater system? These humans haven't even achieved proper fusion drive technology. Vorth's crystalline form shimmered with what passed for laughter among his kind. Protocol, Admiral. The Hegemony Charter requires us to offer membership to all sapient species before acquisition, even the primitive ones. The bridge of the dreadnought Eternal Dominance buzzed with quiet confidence. Around them, the combined might of 17 galactic civilizations hung in formation, over 10,000 vessels representing the apex of military evolution. The humans had been given the standard ultimatum: join the galactic hegemony as a client species or be conquered and enslaved. Their response had been unexpected. Sir, the communications officer, a four-armed Tethian, looked up from her, console with what might have been confusion. The humans they're laughing, sir, and they've sent a single transmission. Put it through, Zexhai ordered, his amusement growing. This would be entertaining. The main screen flickered to life, showing a human female in what appeared to be a simple blue uniform. She had short gray hair and eyes the color of Earth's oceans, cold and deep. I am Admiral Sarah Chen of the Terran Defense Force, the human said, her voice carrying across the bridge with surprising steadiness. We've received your ultimatum. Our response is this: come and take it. The transmission ended. Zexhai's mandibles clicked rapidly, the Krathari equivalent of hysterical laughter. Did this mudcrawler just threaten us? With what? Their chemical rockets and nuclear toys. Sir, the tactical officer's voice carried a note of uncertainty. Long-range sensors are detecting something. Multiple energy signatures approaching from the outer system. How many ships? Zexhai asked, still chuckling. That's just it, sir. Sensors indicate 12 contacts. Just 12. The laughter died on Zexhai's mandibles. 12 ships against 10,000? Even for a death wish, it seemed insufficient. Visual on the approaching vessels, he ordered. The screen shifted, and Zexhai felt his combat-hardened composure waver. The ships were unlike anything in the galactic databases. Sleek, angular, and black as the void between stars, they moved with a predatory grace that spoke of deadly efficiency. More disturbing were the energy readings, power signatures that made even the dreadnought's reactors seem like flickering candles. What are those? Counselor Vorth's crystalline form had shifted to a deep purple, the color of fear among his people. Admiral Chen's voice crackled through the communications array again, though her image didn't reappear. You wanted to know about human technology, Admiral Zexhai? Allow me to educate you. Those are Prometheus-class stellar destroyers. Each one carries a Mark 7 stellar manipulation array. Stellar manipulation? Zexhai's voice had lost all traces of amusement. That's impossible. No species has that capability. We learned early that the universe is a dangerous place, Chen continued. So we didn't just build better ships, we built ships that could weaponize the stars themselves. Each Prometheus can trigger controlled stellar flares, focus stellar wind into plasma lances, or in extreme cases, well, you'll see. The human fleet, if 12 ships could be called a fleet, had reached optimal range. The lead vessel, its hull gleaming with some unknown material, oriented itself toward the hegemony's left flank. Admiral, the tactical officer's voice was barely a whisper. That ship. It's pointing at Red Giant Kepler 442. The star our support fleet is using for gravitational anchor. The Prometheus-class destroyer pulsed with energy. A beam of impossible coherence lanced out, not toward the hegemony fleet, but toward the star itself. The ancient red giant, burning peacefully for billions of years, suddenly convulsed. What did they do? Zexhai demanded. They've destabilized the stellar core magnetic field. his science officer reported, all four of his eyes wide with horror. "The star is going to—" Kepler 442 erupted. A directed stellar flare, controlled and focused with surgical precision, swept across the space where the hegemony's third fleet hung in formation. 600 ships, the pride of the Vellani Confederacy, simply ceased to exist in a wash of stellar fire. They burned a star," Fourth whispered. "Actually," Chen's voice came through again, "we just gave it a little nudge. Humans have always been good at using what's available. When you live on a world where everything wants to kill you, you learn to make everything a weapon, even stars." 11 more Prometheus destroyers were orienting themselves toward different stellar targets throughout the system, each one prepared to turn the very heavens into instruments of war. "Admiral," his communications officer's voice shook, "incoming transmission from the rest of our fleet. Multiple commanders are requesting immediate retreat orders." HFY stared at the tactical display, 10,000 ships against 12, but the 12 could burn stars. "This is impossible," he said, mostly to himself. "Your species was using chemical rockets just decades ago. How do you go from splitting atoms to commanding stars?" Chen's image appeared one final time, and now HFY could see why her eyes were so cold. They held the depth of a species that had clawed its way up from a hostile world and decided that the universe itself would not intimidate them. "We learned that survival isn't about being the strongest or the fastest," she said. "It's about being the most adaptable. When we realized we weren't alone, we didn't just build weapons. We built weapons that could rewrite the rules of engagement entirely. Every star in this system can be our sword. Every planet can be our shield. This is what happens when prey evolves to hunt." The human fleet held position, 12 dark harbingers against the cosmic backdrop. Around them, the mighty galactic hegemony, conquerors of 1,000 worlds, began their retreat. Admiral HFY would file his report using just 5 words: "Recommend avoiding human space permanently." After all, there was wisdom in knowing when one had encountered an apex predator dressed as prey. And humanity, it seemed, had spent their entire existence learning to turn anything, even the stars, themselves, into weapons. The galaxy had laughed at Earth. The galaxy would not make that mistake again.